Alright guys, so you just saw me do a probe with this 123 block that's just sitting here. It's not fixed. But this is just a test piece. I wanted to see how the probing worked. So you can see the wire coming here, but I bet you're wondering, how does this thing work? And the way probes work, these kind of probes for routers anyway, they work by closing a connection between this. But you only see one wire, so it's essentially just a simple switch, right? As soon as the connection is closed, you know it's there, and when it's open, it's not touching. So it just seeks in some way or another until it touches something that closes the connection, closes the switch, and then it knows that's where it is, and then it does it slower again to find it with more accuracy. So there's only one wire. So the other wire is right back here into this fixture plate. And I think this is a clever idea, and I've never seen it actually done before. I'm not really sure why. If it's a bad idea and someone knows why it's a bad idea, let me know. But this is just thread tapped in there, 632 bolts, and then let me see if I can get some good image of it for you. There you go. It's just bolted on with one of those like eyelet bolts and just crimped on here. I put some tape on there to make sure it's nice. And then I have this kind of funky dovetail thing going here, so that I also have my clip that I can clip on to do my Z height. And the nice thing about my Z height is now I don't have to have that puck anymore. I still have that puck if I ever want to use it, but I can literally just put this onto an end mill and then come down, and I can make my Z height the base here. And this is nice and flat, and I can just come touch anywhere on here, and I can do my Z height probe. But this right here is for probing X and Y. And then I didn't get any video today. I was being not good about my videoing, but this right here, I just I spun up on the lathe, and I just really took my time and only took like less than a thou off on each pass, and I got it very close. It's about a thou over. It's about a thou over, I don't know why it keeps focusing back there, a quarter inch, and which I think is just fine for these things, but it's within about a thou over the diameter. So this thing should be accurate to within about a thou, and I measured it with my micrometer to within a tenth of a thou, and so I should be somewhere within a thou, but on that. There's this little low spot in here, but I think it's going to average out because I think the O spot kind of dips in, so as long as this is down far enough to where it's touching solid on the side, I think we probably would be actually accurate to with even more than a thou. So this will allow me to pick up a corner or something with a high degree of accuracy, which is really cool. I did get some video of me soldering that part in there. I did put a little recess, just cut a little groove into it after I finished doing all the lathing. I spun it, and then I also used what's that stuff called? I'm having a memory blank. This stuff, this abrasive sponge stuff. What is this called? Ah, shit, that's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother you too. Scotch-Brite. I used Scotch-Brite just to bring that in, like the last thou, and I found the low spots and high spots, so I had a lot of stick out, and I got it really accurate that way. I should have got some video. I don't know why I didn't for you guys, but that's how I got that thing. So that thing's really accurate. I was gonna buy a piece of ground stuff and then just do that same operation on it, put a groove on there and solder it on, but I didn't want to. The main reason I didn't, I was gonna do it when I had more time, and I was planning to be very busy thread tapping holes. And if you guys have been following the channel and you're not new to the channel, you know I've been working on this fixture plate that you see right here with all the holes in it, and I was thread tapping them by hand, and for starters it was taking forever. I did about 3 rows. No, I did 2.5 rows, and it took me almost 3 hours and 2.5 rows. There's 11 rows. No, 2 hours. It took me almost 2.5, 3 hours to do that much, which is a fuck ton, man. But I'm not doing it. I would have just suffered through it and done it. But then what was happening is there's this countersink at the top of these holes here. If you can see, there's an inner ring and an outer ring. And this is already really small anyway. It's just I can't make this plate super thick because I'm going to lose my Z-axis because the Z travel is not very high on this. So I need to make this a 1/2 inch, which is what it is right now. So these are really small countersinks, and as I was tapping in there, it was raising a burr as it was pushing in there, and pushing that up, and I was essentially losing that countersink completely. Like I can't really fit pin in there. And the pins are important. They're what allow you to kind of locate stuff. So it's a locating feature. I can obviously get the clamps in with just the thread tap, but I need the location ability of this too, and I was losing that. So I'm gonna re-zero this in. I may use that, or I actually may use a different method to try to get this thing as exact as possible, because the corner of this actually isn't that perfect. I could maybe measure it, but it's not that perfect. My machine doesn't make super good corners for whatever reason. So I'm not sure I'll use that probe, or I'll use a different method. I have an idea for a different method too, or I'll use an indicator to maybe pick up one of these holes. But I'll do one of those two methods, and then I'm gonna go in and I'll cut those back in the back. I'll cut those back in. Maybe try to stay off the walls, but I'll definitely go down in the Z and recut that so that I get rid of that burr, and hopefully I get those locating pin locations back. And then I have bought a very expensive $100 thread mill for quarter 13. It'll be here in a week, and then I'll re-zero this all in, and then I'll cut this with thread mills, which is what I wanted to do anyway at the beginning. I just didn't because it was expensive, cost prohibitive, and now I'm like, well, I'm definitely doing that because I'm losing the ability to do it. And also, thread tapping was crazy, and I have to make another plate for Derek, who's a fan of the channel, who paid me to make him a plate, and he's been very patient, which is very nice because it's taken me a long time to get this thing up and running. But in order to build his plate, I don't want to have to do them all by hand. So I bought a thread mill, expensive thread mill, essentially taking my profit from building it for him almost to zero, but that's okay. I can build plates and sell those and stuff like that at some point too. So anyway, I'm going to use a thread mill to cut these guys, and the idea with it should cut hopefully a little bit more efficiently and raise less of a burr than pushing a big fat metal tap through, at least in theory. Hopefully it'll work. It was expensive. I also bought an engraver. I'm gonna do some engraving. I really wanted one, so I got one of those while I got it too. That was a lot cheaper though. So yeah, this thing is pretty cool. I like it. The only other thing I'm gonna get, I think I said this, but I want to replace this guy, this alligator clip. I don't like it. I want to replace it with a magnet that would just go up here on the collet, and then just lock in there, and I'm going to do that at some point too. But and then I might 3D print a holder for these to kind of sit on the bed over here. But that's a nice little addition, helps me pick up corners very precisely and very easily, which is exactly what I like. So that's cool. I'm going to do a lot of work the next few days and get a whole bunch of my Iron Man suit designed. That way, once I get this thing up and running, I can just start building the parts and putting it together. By the way, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen it, you just came for the title of this video, that thing over there, I'm becoming Iron Man. You should subscribe to my channel, see what's going on. You guys are great. That's all I got for you today. Short video, but cool stuff. I love you. Bye.